Alright guys, my name is Faints and today we have probably one of my craziest matches I think I've ever played. Like honestly, I don't know what else I've done better, but I also have one thing that my man B I don't know if I pronounced that right or differently the second time than the first time, but he got a crazy sweep at this Lugia because it was in that maxed out mode in PvP. That's crazy, but yeah, I gotta show you these two crazy things. Okay, so the first one to start it off, we have a battle that I had against a guy with 5 megas, and somehow I pulled off the win here. I mean, it was crazy. I saw 5 megas and I'm like immediately like, man, I'm gonna lose this thing. But then I saw Tyranitar green at +1. I'm like, maybe all of his things will be green +1, but they weren't. They were fairly upgraded. So I went on the substitute for that because the Tyranitar didn't have that Sandstorm up. So I thought he was gonna go for a Toxic, and he swaps out here. So I started setting up. I don't know why he swapped out from the Rayquaza into the Kyogre, but I mean, I guess they both do the same thing other than the fact that he let me set up a little bit. So here I'm thinking like, okay, I did about half health. I can probably knock him out if I get like a flinch or if that was minimum damage. But then he had leftovers as well, and I'm like, oh man, shoot, maybe I could just maybe hope for a crit or something, and it didn't happen. So I just go into the double swap there, and to get that thunder or the lightning rod boost, which I did, and so he just dished it back to me. So I mean, I need to start getting used to that. I just keep like not wanting to take a risk against powerhouses like Kyogre and like the weather changes, you know. So I go for the toxic here, and he goes for the hidden power ice. And so I go for a second toxic and it misses. I'm like, really? Come on now. And so he gets me pretty low with that hidden power ice. So I just start roosting up and he switches to Tyranitar. I'm like, okay, I definitely need to switch here to because the first time it took me a while to think who I should switch out here, but the first time he didn't use Toxic onto my Garchomp, so I was thinking like, maybe he doesn't even have Toxic, and he just doesn't have a ability. So I swapped to the Giratina there, and he used that Crunch, and so I kept going for the Aura Sphere. The Zapdos takes it, and instead of going for a Toxic, I don't know, I'm not really too sure why I did go for a Toxic. I went for a Shadow Force here, but I think it was probably for the leftovers. Whatever it was at the time, it worked because I won this battle, which I mean, I can't, I gotta say, I'm quite surprised myself that I won this, but I'm like, all right, I can probably get a kill of, I can probably kill this thing eventually, and it gets pretty low there. Unfortunately, I don't get the kill, but my leftovers were doing well for me, and I just finished him off with the Dragon Claw. So here he sends the Kyogre. I'm like, all right, maybe I can get some more leftover, some more damage onto this thing because of leftovers, and somehow I outsped it, which was kind of crazy to me, but um, I did some decent damage. Honestly thought I was going to take it out that first time, but I knew that I can go for a second Shadow Force here. But then he sets up the Aqua Ring. I'm like, man, there's no way I'm killing this thing because it's going to heal up after this turn. And luckily, I got the crit right there. I got really lucky with that. But here comes a Charizard, and I'm like, all right, he's changing the weather to the sun, so I'll probably change the weather to the rain. You know, Fire Blast probably coming because I guess a lot of them run Fire Blast rather than Flamethrower. I'm not too sure why, but so I started setting up with Calm Mind because I'm like, this guy's not going to do much damage to me, and he's going to be forced to swap out. But I was expecting I saw that he had the Thunder Punch, so I thought he was going to he was going to use that, but instead he just went for a Toxic, and I'm like, all right, I'm just going to switch to my Steelix here. So I went for the Taunt because I didn't want him using any more Toxics, but instead he goes for the um, Tyranitar, and so I'm like expecting the Earthquake, and because so I swapped into my Giratina because he has Levitate, but instead he goes for Superpower, but it still just evens out. So Um, so I don't know why he keeps doing like double swaps and stuff like that, but I just went for the Dragon Claw on that thing. And then change the weather again. So here is the point where it gets kind of crazy because we just keep swapping and swapping and swapping. It was kind of funny, but I go for the taunt again, and I'm like, all right, then I'll just go for the Kyogre, and he goes for the Earthquake, I believe, and it was decent move, but I definitely wouldn't have gone that way, especially for a Steelix because it's a lot weaker to the special defense kind of area. So this man, I go for the Hydro Pump, and I was kind of expecting him to attack, but I didn't want to get my Kyogre to either lose a berry or get toxic. I don't really remember where he was at, so I just switched here, and so he starts attacking me. I was kind of hoping for the Quick Claw there, but I didn't get it. So he crits me, and I just go for the Crunch to finish that bad boy off. Um, I He goes for the Charizard, and I'm like, all right, maybe I can get a Quick Claw, but I didn't really want to take that risk at the moment, and so I actually um, misclicked there and thought, oh no, I'm actually gonna lose this now because I was like, man, maybe he's gonna expect my swap into the Charizard and like and all this stuff. So I'm like, you know what, I need to go into Kyogre, and I ran out of time for my move, and it just swapped into my Zapdos. So I'm like, no, I just lost my Zapdos. So all I had left was the the Giratina for my Megas, but luckily my Quick Claw worked here, and that Charizard didn't take me out with the Earthquake on my Kyogre, which I got super lucky with. But I didn't know if I would be able to live that, but I was kind of just waiting for the confusion to happen, and hopefully, and I was really happy that it did. But I'm like, all right, I might as well just protect this time, see if he gets confused, and he didn't. So I attacked the second turn, and he got confused, and I got so lucky. I'm seriously like, getting happy that I'm watching this now, but. Oh man, that was crazy. I was like, what? Like I shared that into the guild group chat. But here's what the Lugia one. So as you can see, this is the man, I don't know what arena mode it is. Actually it said it right there when in the guild chat, but so this man leads off with the Infernape. I don't know really know why. Maybe he can carry Stealth Rocks, but of course my man Bisareo, I hope I pronounced that right. Plays the Stealth Rocks like a pro because that's what you're supposed to do. So he has the Stealth Rocks on his side, and he takes out the Regirock, and here is where the fun happens. So super effective Aeroblast. There we go. That's first one. He's got the Focus Sash, and he breaks the multi-scale, but my man carries the leftovers like a pro because that's what you're supposed to do with a Lugia. But honestly, side note here, I really don't like how the back of Lugia looks. Like I just don't think it's I don't know, it's not doing it for me, I gotta say. So he just faces this super effective Mon or Pokemon. I'm gonna try to stop. I'm trying to veer away from saying Mon because I feel like sometimes it'll be a little hard to understand. But he just takes it like it's nothing because of that multi scale, and he goes for the Shadow Ball again. And it just keeps working. So the Megas is where it gets interesting. I think they're just trying to damage it at this point, but I think it could have been a different story if the Megas went in first. But he goes with the Lucario, which I don't know if it resists the flying or not. But like, look at how much damage that does. You'd expect that to do much more damage because it's a Stone Edge, but that multi scale is crazy. So the Aeroblast misses, and the Stone Edge doesn't do that much damage. I was kind of thinking that like a crit would happen. So he goes for another Stone Edge, and it misses, and he gets the ability to recover up, and the leftovers gets him back to the multi scale, but that he gets hit with that crit, so it takes him down pretty low. But like, man, I just can't wait to get a Lugia. Like I just need a Master Ball. You know what I'm saying? All I need is a Master Ball, and then I can start grinding out a Lugia. Because I mean, if it has the potential to be such a great sweeper, especially with toxic, which I don't know if he really used it that much in this one, but he ran it. So the guy runs out of the stone edges, because it only you can only use it 5 times, and he's stuck with flash cannon, which does lower his special defense like 3 times, which is really unlucky. But by now he is able to take out the Lucario. So, well, next one. I forget. I think he has like Ho-Oh. Um, I'm not sure who he has next. Let's see here. Charizard. Okay, so he has Charizard. I knew it was a fire type and almost flying, but he just goes for the roost there. I'm not really too sure why. Probably because that stealth rock, but he goes for the flare blitz. So what honestly is a good which is honestly a good way to go, because Lugia is more of a special defensive kind of legendary, but so he just keeps stalling this out. I'm gonna speed it up from here because I feel like this might be getting a little long, but you know, in the end, he doesn't get like a full sweep, but technically it is basically a sweep in my opinion, because I think it's just the fact that he might have run out of like PP for Roost or something. But he goes for the toxic, or not Roost, whatever it's called. Man, but whatever. He either feints or he swaps him out. But honestly, if he would have just kept him in, I'm sure he would have taken him out. So I'm considering this a sweep, but I'm gonna end that here. He just takes him out with an Aura Sphere, I believe. Yeah, and that's basically it. I'm pretty sure that Lugia would have been able to tank it, but that is pretty much all that I have to show you guys. Shout out to my man B Soreo. That is an insane thing. I'm so happy I got second place and got really lucky with that Lugia 4 Bugle. But yeah, guys, that is it. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, be sure to drop a like. Hit that subscribe button if you're new. It'd be greatly, greatly appreciated. But yeah, guys. Other than that, my name is Faints on behalf of Master Guild Server 39. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.